What excites me the most about this work is the ability to amplify the lived experiences and the voices of our grassroots partners, from communities to workers, to help shape what a just transition is. What we're talking about when we say just transition is, of course, the transition from fossil fuels to renewable energies. The transition has to be fast in order to avoid catastrophic climate change, but it also has to be fair if we're going to ensure that it's sustainable. A transition that's fair will be one that ensures that the benefits of the transition are shared with communities and with workers. So we're already seeing in instances where the transition isn't fair, where we're seeing human rights abuses rather than this commitment to shared prosperity and respect for human rights. We're seeing rising resistance by communities and workers. We're seeing resort to courts, we're seeing protests, we're seeing project delays and rising operational costs. And that's something the world can ill afford, because the single greatest threat to human rights on a global scale is in fact the climate crisis. 50% of the minerals that we need in order to affect the transition sit on or near indigenous peoples' land. That same land is highly desirable for the vast wind and solar farms that we need to move fully away from fossil fuel reliance. So indigenous peoples are essential to the transition. A lot is being asked of them, but similarly, they have the opportunity to provide extraordinary leadership through their expertise and knowledge to ensuring that the transition is fair. A just transition will involve three key things: private sector and state commitment to human rights. The second is a commitment to fair negotiations and full access to information. And the third is shared prosperity between the private sector and hosting communities and workers. The Resource Center is uniquely positioned to convene rights holders with the private sector in one room to discuss the contours of a just transition. So this is not a directive from the halls of government or from corporate boardrooms, but is really shaped by the experiences and the realities of the communities and workers at the front line.